Hello, this is an example of crossover analysis where we look at two alternatives and decide when we prefer one alternative over the other. The crossover point is the point at which we're indifferent, where two total costs are the same. So I've used the same format, almost the same format as the one in the book for the supplement to Chapter 5, number 15 and number 16, except that I've put in some data that's pretty representative of market conditions right now for a 2013 Corolla, a used Corolla, a new Prius, and a new Corolla. So I'm actually doing three alternatives. They're all using the same table, except I added one more row where I combined the vehicle operating cost per mile and the fuel cost, and that's calculated as you see here. C6, the vehicle operating cost per mile, and then I just took the average fuel price per gallon divided by the miles per gallon. I get the fuel cost per mile. I just add those together. I get this variable cost, combined variable cost per mile. And for each one, then I have a life cycle cost. So this is the cost to operate for 10 years with all these assumptions up above here. And we see, based on the assumptions that I have, and I've used a little bit numbers from different numbers in the book. I've used slightly higher vehicle operating costs for the Corolla versus the old Corolla versus the new Corolla, and of course then a lower cost for the hybrid. So this shows that the lowest cost alternative over the 10 years is the new Prius, based on these assumptions. But I don't get to that point. The Prius doesn't beat the 2013 Corolla until after 131,000 miles, after 8.74 years. So it doesn't break even in terms of the alternatives there. It doesn't beat the lower cost alternative until 8 3/4 years. The new Corolla beats the new Prius until about 90,000 miles, so until 6 years out. And the new Corolla beats the old Corolla after 241,000 years, which 241,000 miles, which takes 16 years. So when I'm doing the crossover, I'm really using this equation right here, the fixed cost 2 minus fixed cost 1 divided by variable cost 1 minus variable cost 2. So in this case, the fixed cost 2 would be the $28,000 from the new Prius. The fixed cost 1 is the $12,000 from the used Corolla. And then the variable cost 1 would be the 25 cents. Variable cost 2 would be the 13 cents. And that's what you see. There's the formula that does that right here. And then at the end of this problem, we were asked, well, what if the price of gasoline went up from $2.55 a gallon to $3 a gallon? So we just copied this same spreadsheet over. We substituted $3 in for the average fuel price, and we have some new numbers. And it makes the Prius look better because it has the lower operating costs and the better gas mileage, so the lower fuel operating costs as well. So it gets better. So instead of 8 3/4 years, now it'll beat the Corolla in 8 1/4 years. And again, you might not be interested in waiting that long. New Corolla beats Prius until 5 1/2 years, and the new Corolla beats old Corolla after 237,000 miles after 15.83 years. So that's an example of using the crossover analysis. We call it crossover because if we plotted this, we would see a crossover. And what we're calculating is the actual point of indifference, the actual point where the two alternatives that we're comparing, in this case, new Prius, Corolla, in this case, new Corolla, new Prius, and in this case, new Corolla and old Corolla. Thanks.